Welcome, friend. I'm Jack, host of the channel, and today we're diving into another episode. Pour yourself a drink and get comfortable, because I've got a powerful story coming your way. If something hits deep, drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's get into it.
As a child, Alex's life was always in flux due to his father's military career. The family moved frequently, each new base offering a fresh start, but never a permanent home. This lifestyle made Alex resilient and adaptable, though he also yearned for stability and a place of his own. He decided that one day he would open his own business, a place to plant roots and build something lasting. After college, armed with degrees in Arabic and computer science, Alex joined the Army. His language skills landed him a job as a translator in volatile Middle Eastern regions. During this time, he developed an interest in security technology, recognizing its importance for personal and national safety. This experience shaped his post-military career, combining his technical skills with a mission to create a secure environment. After leaving the military, Alex aimed to open a computer and security equipment store in the Chicago suburbs. He envisioned a location between two Best Buy stores and near a busy shopping center. On the second day of searching, he found the perfect spot with a "For Rent" sign. As he peered into the dark, vacant store, the door swung open, startling him. Two women emerged, laughing at his reaction. "Sorry to scare you," one said. "We didn't expect a peeping Tom in broad daylight." "Sorry, it was a reflex. If I had an M4 rifle, I'd have put holes in you," Alex joked, quickly adding, "but I'd hate to hurt two nice ladies." "You must be military, not special weapons and tactics. Too jumpy," the taller woman teased. "Looking to rent?" asked the shorter woman. "Yes. Is this space available?" Alex inquired. "I'm Jessica Hughes, the leasing agent. This is Sarah Parker, our banker," Jessica introduced herself and shook Alex's hand firmly. "Nice to meet you. I'm Alex," he replied. "Rent might be out of my budget," Alex mentioned, trying to gauge the price. Jessica explained, "We're confirming the lease to update our credit files. When occupancy is high enough, we'll lower the loan interest rate." "How much is the rent?" Alex asked. $1,200 a month, plus electricity," Jessica replied. Alex turned to Sarah. "What's the minimum lease term?" 6 months or more," she answered. "Jessica, I'll pay $1,000 a month for a year up front. Can you do that?" Alex offered. Jessica quickly accepted. Turning to Sarah, "He might be a good bank customer for you." Sarah handed Alex her card. Looking him over, Jessica went to do the paperwork, and Alex offered to take Sarah to the bank, suggesting lunch afterward. She agreed, impressed by his Corvette. "Do you have time for lunch?" Alex asked. "Yes," Sarah smiled. "Great. Why don't you drive us somewhere nice?" Alex handed her the keys. She looked surprised. "I've never driven a manual before." "I'll teach you," Alex said. She slid into the driver's seat, focused on the gears. After some practice, she drove them to lunch, concentrating on shifting while Alex stayed calm despite the grinding noises. When they arrived at a nice Italian restaurant, she asked, "What have you been up to the last 2 years that made you so jumpy when those women came out of the store?" "I spent the last 2 years in the Middle East as a U.S. Army infantryman. There, when an unfamiliar door opens, you better be ready to shoot or die. Since I didn't have my rifle, I was ready to throw my pen at you," Alex said with a grin, making Sarah laugh. "Why did you join the Army and go to such a dangerous place?" she inquired. "A little history. I'm the son of U.S. Army colonel and an Iranian nurse. They met when my dad was working on radio intercepts in Iran before the Shah was overthrown. They got married, I was born, and I spent my first 18 years as an Army brat. I went to college and earned degrees in Arabic and computer science. With a sense of patriotism and wanderlust, I joined the Army and became an infantryman. My language skills got me assigned as a translator in action zones," Alex explained. "Was it as exciting as you thought? Did you get shot at?" she asked. "It was more interesting than I expected. Yes, I was shot once. Maybe after our third date, I'll show you my scars," he teased. "Third date? Do I get a say?" she joked. "If you want to see them on the second date, I can set aside my modesty," Alex replied with a grin. They had a great lunch, and Sarah insisted on paying, saying, "It's on the bank. I'm always looking for good customers." As they drove to the bank, she said, "The girls will be jealous when I drive up in this." Then give them a show. Get out. Show some leg, and toss me the keys, Alex suggested. She did so with flair, waving as she went into the bank. After a few minutes, Alex called her cell. "What time should I pick you up for dinner on Saturday?" "Who is this?" "A guy gives a girl a ride in his Corvette, and she forgets him already," she teased. "Alex, I didn't recognize your voice. 7 p.m. works for me." "Dress nicely. I'll be dazzling," she added. "Saturday night couldn't come soon enough." "You look dazzling, Sarah. All the guys at the VFW will love seeing you," Alex complimented her. "If you take me to the VFW, I'll never see your battle scars," she teased. "I can show them to you on the second or third date," he suggested. "No second or third date if you take me there tonight," she laughed. "I have reservations at Capitol Grill for a steak dinner, if that works," he offered. "I like it." "Do we have time for a glass of wine first?" she asked. "Sure, I'd love to see how a successful banker lives," Alex responded. "Welcome to my cozy apartment," she said, laughing. "I'm successful, but at an entry level. I'm aiming higher. I bought this place 2 years ago, but if rent goes up, I might not afford it, so I'm not investing much in renovations." Alex noticed a diploma from Northwestern University. "What's your major?" he inquired. "Finance," she replied. "That fits your career as a banker," he observed. "Yes, but I'd rather borrow money to be a real estate developer. A few years of financing real estate projects is a great way to learn," she explained. They talked about her college years and future plans, then headed to dinner. The evening was perfect, with great conversation, food, and drinks. "How did your computer skills come into play in the military?" Sarah asked. "My first combat mission in Mosul changed my duties. We raided an Iraqi fighter's house and found some computers that my comrades were about to destroy. I stopped them, insisting we take them to the intelligence officer. I handed the computers and documents to the G2 officer, who laughed and said, 'What are we going to do with this electronic garbage? We can't operate an Arab computer.' I responded, 'Besides being an interpreter, I can operate a computer in Arabic, sir.' After that, I was sent to the brigade intelligence officer. For hours, I worked at a desk, watched by high-ranking officers. Suddenly, I realized we were under imminent threat. Tomorrow at 2 a.m., we would face a 3-pronged attack. This letter outlined their battle plan. Get me a map, and I'll show you their directions. The decision-makers in the room planned airstrikes and artillery fire. Maintaining secrecy as spies and informers could be among us. Only the company commander and above knew of the attack until our Air Force struck first. Then we all rushed to our fighting positions. The rest of the report detailed weapon hideouts and attack plans. I soon found myself assigned to a different unit, working with confiscated computers and finding crucial information, like insurgent bank records. The funds moved through numbered accounts, likely for weapons, food, bribes, and salaries. I felt it was my duty to disrupt their access to these funds. I had the necessary information to transfer the money to any bank, but knew only one account number, my own in Chicago. Using my personal laptop, I transferred the money to my bank, ensuring the enemy couldn't use it against us. Realizing the risk, I quickly transferred the funds to a numbered account in Switzerland, making it untraceable. This method made the money trail less visible than through an army computer. Due to security clearance protocols, I didn't inform Sarah of this income source. I continued, "That's why I titled my book, How I Defeated the Rebels While Sitting at My Computer Desk. It's quite the story." "You're an interesting person," she remarked. "How did you get injured at your computer? Carpal tunnel?" she joked with a smile. "Sorry, I don't show wounds until the second date," Alex replied. "I can do that Latin dance and whisper a top-secret story to you." Laughing, they drove his Corvette to a club and spent a couple of hours there. When he pulled up to her apartment, she asked, "Would you like to come in?" "Yeah, I'd like that," Alex said. After a few glasses of wine, he decided to leave. "Was this date good enough for another one?" he asked. "Yes, I need a second date to see the wound," she replied. "Okay, I'll call you," he promised. "You're not leaving without a reward for a great evening," she said, hugging him and giving him a warm, wet kiss. This prompted Alex to call her soon. On their second date, they had dinner and enjoyed a jazz concert. "Will you show me your war wounds during intermission?" she asked. "No," Alex replied. "Can I wait until we get to your apartment?" "Sure," she said. "Did you get a Purple Heart?" she inquired. She seemed doubtful, so Alex showed her a picture on his phone of him in uniform with the Purple Heart. At her house, he took a briefcase from the glove compartment. "Are you proposing tonight?" she asked, smiling. "No, that's for date number 6. This is my Purple Heart. Open it and see my name and wound details." She opened the box and read, "Shell fragment in the eye. Right. Notice the scar on my eyelid," he pointed out. "How did it happen?" she asked. "I was making an omelet when a bad egg exploded, shooting me in the eye. The medical report said eggshell shard in eye, so I got a Purple Heart," Alex explained. She laughed, and after talking for a few hours, they became closer. Weeks later, Alex hired Betty Black as his office manager. She was older, attractive, married to a police officer, and had been laid off from Best Buy despite her extensive knowledge. She said her manager thought she was too old for their target market. Alex hired her, and they were both happy. Sarah and Alex spent more time together, and life was great until 2 men from the CIA showed up. They showed their badges and wanted to talk. Alex feared what they could accuse him of. They asked why there were never any facilities around captured enemy offices. Alex just stared, experiencing his first froth attack in years. They didn't accuse him of anything, just mentioned that recent hacks of rebel computers revealed complaints about an American looting their bank accounts. They waited for his response, so he shrugged. Then came the surprise. They wanted him to work for them as a private contractor, paying him $220,000 a month. The first $500,000 of any funds confiscated from the rebels would stay with Alex. The rest would go to the CIA. They found him the most efficient at hacking enemy computers and believed he could recover more from the Iranians than they were paying him, plus his bonus. The implication was clear. If he didn't comply, they might investigate who was releasing insurgent funds. By the time Alex finished his tour in Iraq, he had over $1 million in Swiss bank accounts and $300,000 in a Chicago bank account. The CIA wanted him to keep attacking the insurgent bank accounts. The only reason he didn't sign up immediately was his growing relationship with Sarah. However, she saw the $220,000 monthly paycheck as too good to pass up. Alex didn't mention the bonus program to her. Since she needed to move out of her apartment, she moved in with him. Alex wired his apartment with security equipment to monitor it remotely and offered Sarah the use of it while he covered all the bills. When he returned to the Middle East, he planned to spend 3 months there and 3 months in the States to avoid burnout and maintain his relationship with Sarah. His first stop was a meeting at Langley with the CIA officers. They saw him as an asset worth more than a computer, but less than a drone. They had simple rules. If he screwed up, the deal was off. If someone died because of him, they could liquidate him or take all the funds he had released. It was a long 3 months filled with work on unexplored computers at the command center. The latest computers provided valuable data for the CIA. Alex mapped insurgent squad interactions and left some money in accounts as bait. Sarah and Alex communicated daily on FaceTime. Despite the time difference, their calls were worth the inconvenience. Alex also began physical training with the Marines at their compound, joining their morning workouts. Initially, they were wary, but once they learned he was an army brat working for the CIA, they accepted him. After the first 3-month stint, Alex met with a senior CIA officer in the country to review his work. The officer was pleased with the timely information Alex provided. He didn't ask about the funds Alex accumulated, and Alex didn't mention them. The officer asked, "Do you want to stay for another 3 months or go to the States and then come back?" "I'm heading back to the States to marry the most beautiful woman in Illinois. In 3 months, I'll return to continue my work. In the meantime, I've trained your raiding parties on what to capture when searching for a computer. I've also created a protocol to bypass terrorist defenses and gain remote control, allowing me to access it from Chicago to find the latest information for you." 2 days later, Sarah's face lit up like a full moon when Alex arrived at O'Hare Airport. He had waited 2 months for their relationship to settle, and it felt real. Alex sent her a bouquet of flowers with a note saying, "You're more beautiful than these flowers. Would you join me for dinner at an exclusive restaurant this Saturday? You might want to buy a new dress." The restaurant was actually a penthouse suite at the Hyatt Hotel, with dinner on the balcony overlooking the city, a string quartet, and her favorite dishes. The bedroom was lined with rose petals. Sarah was curious about their destination, but it was a surprise for both of them. They took a limo to the Hyatt, where the concierge greeted them and escorted them to the suite. Sarah practically danced through the lobby. People looked at them like celebrities. They had their own waiter, champagne, and enjoyed the city lights. The string quartet played. The dinner was excellent, and the chocolate volcano dessert was perfect. After dessert, Alex lifted a silver plate cover to reveal a small purple velvet box. Sarah was speechless, her hands trembling and tears in her eyes. Alex got down on one knee and proposed. She started saying yes, but he stopped her to finish his part, then asked, "Will you be my wife?" She replied, "Absolutely." Their wedding was small since neither of them had large families. They flew to Savannah, Georgia, to enjoy the Southern charm, then back to their work lives. Sarah introduced Alex to her social circle of realtors and developers. Alex spent 3 months in the States and 3 months working abroad. On their anniversary, Alex asked if she knew a realtor who could find them a nice house. She asked, "What kind of house do you want?" He said, "My lovely wife will decide. The only condition is the total cost, including furnishings and remodeling, must not exceed $1 million. She was shocked and worried about affording it, thinking it was a cruel joke. Alex assured her, "I have investments you don't know about. We can easily afford it. I wanted to make sure you married me for love, not for money." She smiled, called him a prick, and said it would be a cash deal. Sarah made a great deal with a divorcing couple who wanted a quick cash sale. While Alex was away, she managed the remodel, and Alex kept updated via FaceTime. He requested a top-notch security system with hidden cameras and microphones because he had received a tip that terrorists were angry about their stolen money. He didn't want to be captured by vengeful enemies. Alex called Betty at the computer store for the best private investigator's name in town. She said, "Tom Pappas is one of our best clients, thorough, professional, but not cheap. He buys high-end surveillance equipment from us. Would you like his number?" "Yes, thank you," Alex replied. The conversation with Mr. Pappas was productive. He knew exactly what Alex needed and how to install it. Most of the electronic equipment in the house was integrated into Alex's personal computer system, allowing him to control everything remotely. Sarah was thrilled with her new home and expressed love deeply. Without the distractions of dating or a husband away, she focused on building relationships within the local home builders association and growing her loan portfolio at the bank. Starting his 4th year, Alex noticed changes in how Sarah greeted him at the airport. The enthusiastic welcomes turned into complaints about his luggage. The last 2 greetings made Alex anxious, with her waiting impatiently in the car. "Just take an Uber home. I'm busy," she said. After 3 weeks at home, Alex tried to address the tension. "Honey, you seem distracted. Is there something I can help with? Anything bothering you at work?" "No, I'm fine," she replied. This sounded an alarm in Alex's combat-trained mind. A few minutes later, she said, "We have nothing in common anymore. You're away for 6 months, and even when you're here, you're always working on your computer. What are you, an Iranian spy?" Alex turned off his computer and gave her his full attention. "No, I'm not a spy. My work is for the U.S. Department of Defense. I gather information from terrorist computers. It's important for our country." "Country? Well, that makes you boring and uninteresting, and I don't like it," Sarah said. "What can I do to be more interesting?" "I'm open to suggestions," Alex replied. "Knock me off my feet. Make me feel important," she demanded. "All right, let's go to Vegas and lie for 2 weeks. No work, just us. You choose the shows and activities, and I'll handle the rest," Alex suggested. "That sounds like a good start. I'll think about it." "What do you want to see?" she asked. "I want to see my wife happy, that's all," Alex responded. The next morning, he started planning. The Vegas trip was a tactic to understand what was on Sarah's mind. Did she have a lover? Who was she spending time with? After lunch, Alex met with Mr. Pappas and explained his situation. "I need your company to monitor my wife's activities. We can install a car tracker on her Audi, and I've already installed a beacon in her cell phone. I'll be out of the country from September 1st to November 30th, but reachable by phone or email. You've installed a sophisticated camera system, and I can share information as needed. There are rumors of a bounty on me from Middle Eastern rebels, and I want to ensure my wife's safety. She doesn't need to know this to avoid frightening her. Also, I want to know if she's having an affair, which could be a way for enemies to get to me. I need to be prepared for any trouble, Alex explained. Wow, Mr. Pappas said. You know my business protocol well. I'll do my best to meet your expectations. This will be costly, with an upfront payment plus monthly expenses depending on the services performed. I understand. I'll transfer the money for the first month. Thank you for your help, Alex said. He decided to do his own investigation. Alex started with Sarah's closet, checking every shoebox, lifting the shoe shelf, and inspecting all pockets in her clothes. He found nothing. Then he noticed a small travel bag in the hall closet, secured with a small lock. Alex opened it with a paperclip and found a set of French underwear, cheap clothes, and shoes that had been washed several times. It was clear she was meeting someone. Next, Alex checked the hidden cameras and replaced their batteries. In his office, Alex noticed the top drawer of his file cabinet had screwdriver marks. Someone had gone through his tax returns and investment information, likely preparing for a divorce. His offshore and Swiss bank accounts were safe, but the invasion suggested she was preparing for alimony negotiations. Alex checked his weapon safe, which was untouched. He decided to invite Sarah to dinner. After making reservations, Alex left her a voicemail and texted her. He placed a new dress on the table for her to wear. At 5 p.m., he took a nap, showered, and dressed in his best suit. By 6:15, with no response from her, Alex checked her cell tracker. It showed her at a high-end office building near her bank. Alex arrived at the restaurant and was seated in a secluded area. He ordered a bottle of her favorite wine and tracked her location, which hadn't changed. By 7:20, he ordered soup and noticed sympathetic looks from other diners as he sat alone. At 7:30, his phone vibrated. It was Sarah. "Hi, honey. Please forgive me. Alex. My phone died and I couldn't get my messages," Sarah said. "I understand," Alex sighed. "Will you come to my place for dinner? This is for you since you said I wasn't attentive enough." "Are you still waiting for me?" he asked. "Yes, Alex. I just finished a great soup and my salad is on the way," she replied. "I'll be there in 30 minutes. I'm really sorry, Alex," she added. "Great. You'll be here just in time for dessert and drinks," he said. Alex had just finished a ribeye steak when Sarah burst in, out of breath with disheveled hair and a wrinkled blouse. "I can't apologize enough, Alex. You were trying to make this night special, and I ruined it. What can I do to make it up to you?" she asked. "Have you eaten yet? If not, order something while I get dessert. Then you can tell me about your day," Alex suggested. "No, I'm not very hungry. I heard they have a great triple chocolate brownie here," she said. "Order that and a scotch on the rocks," Alex said. He ordered 2 brownies and asked, "So, how was your day?" "It was hectic. We had an issue with the wording on the mortgage for the shopping center on Douglas Street. The bank thought we were mortgaging 2 buildings, but the borrowers thought it was just one," she explained. "Did it take all day?" Alex asked. "No, it started in the afternoon and went until now," she replied. "Who was involved in these negotiations?" Alex inquired. "Why all the questions, Alex? It's just another day at work," she said, sounding irritated. "After you didn't return my calls and texts and embarrassed me by not showing up. I think you owe me more than just another workday. Do you think that's overstepping?" Alex asked, feeling frustrated. "No, it's not out of line, but I don't like being questioned as if I'm hiding something," she retorted. "Are you hiding something or someone from me?" Alex probed. "No, I'm not," she snapped back. "Then why are you so defensive? I'm just making small talk. Many people ask about their spouse's day, including who they worked with. But if you think I'm invading your privacy, I won't ask any more. Let's talk about something neutral, like the weather," Alex suggested, trying to lighten the mood. "Don't be so smart, Alex," she said. "I thought today was warm for this time of year. Did you get to enjoy it?" he asked. "Okay, I'll play your game." "No, I didn't leave the office. They brought us sandwiches, which I hate. That probably ruined my mood and made me grumpy with you. I'm sorry I snapped at you," she admitted. "That's okay, honey. I love you, grumpy or not," Alex said, trying to reassure her. The rest of dinner was more relaxed as they discussed weekend plans. However, Alex sensed she was lying about her day. Checking her phone calls could be revealing. When she went to the bathroom, Alex checked her phone. It was 75% charged, contradicting her dead phone excuse. At home, she immediately showered, which was unusual unless she had been in the field. On the first day of his investigation, Alex learned a lot. It was crucial to keep appearing ignorant. In Illinois, infidelity isn't grounds for divorce, so he didn't need proof of her cheating, but irreconcilable differences could justify a divorce. Alex's goal was to protect his assets while reallocating his portfolio in Switzerland. Sarah unexpectedly entered his office. He failed to notice her approach. "What are you looking at?" she asked. Alex turned and saw her reading his screen from 4 feet away. If he hid it, she'd know he was being secretive, so he shifted her attention. "I'm reallocating investments, deciding between Google and Amazon. Any suggestions?" Ignoring the numbers, she said, 3,646 and 624. "Is this your money?" There's no name, just numbers. Unlike her, Alex felt the need to be mostly honest. "Yes, this is my bank account in Switzerland. It's money I made trading goods while I was bored in Afghanistan." "Why don't you transfer that money here so I can spend it?" Sarah asked. "That money stays there to avoid huge income taxes when brought into the U.S. The $1 million you spent on this house and furnishings was part of that income. It was my gift to you," Alex explained. "Are there any other accounts outside the U.S. I don't know about?" she inquired. "Yes," Alex admitted. "How many accounts and how much money?" she pressed. Alex smiled. "You've used your one honest answer." She got angry, but then jumped into his arms. "Great! Keep surprising me. I need a Ferrari and a bigger house," she exclaimed. "Wait, honey, I plan to spend that money on us, but we need a plan. We could blow it now, or I could triple it in 2 years. Would you rather have $10 million in 2 years or $3.6 million now? I buy you a new Audi SUV every year, and there's more to come. I love you and did this for you," Alex said. "Yes, I agree," she said with a smile. "Good, I'm off to my next appointment. I just stopped by to pick up some papers. See you tonight, love." "Boy," she said. Alex was angry at himself for not handling the situation better, but it turned out better than expected. Telling her most of the truth felt good. Maybe their marriage wasn't on the rocks. However, he had to prepare for the worst while hoping for the best. Alex rented a storage unit and moved personal and professional items there, backed up important computer data, and packed clothes for a quick getaway. He didn't want it to seem like he was leaving, just preparing for a strategic withdrawal. The next step was a trip to Langley to see his supervisor. He requested a new identity, explaining that the rebels knew someone was pirating their funds and had put a price on his head. 2 weeks later, Alex had a new identity, Tyler Connors, with a new passport, driver's license, social security number, and work history. He arranged a buy-sell agreement with Betty Black, transferring all store assets to her, including $50,000 in cash. He explained his concerns to her. "Betty, I have a bad feeling about my next trip to the Middle East. If I don't return, all store assets go to you. You're buying assets, not the corporation, so any tax problems fall on the corporation. I'll be moving funds through the corporation as I restructure my finances. The purchase price for you is $5,000. "Do you have any questions?" Alex asked. "Yes, I do. Why are you doing this for me?" she asked. "You've been a great friend and business partner, doing most of the work while I stayed in the background. But there's a catch. One day, you may be contacted by Tyler Connors. If that happens, do whatever he asks without discussing it with anyone, including your husband. I guarantee you won't be asked to commit a crime. Just do him a favor. He has saved my life several times. Do we understand?" Alex asked. "I understand, Alex, but I wish you wouldn't talk like that. It's bad luck. Thank you for thinking of me, but I'd prefer you come back, and we continue working together," she said. "That's my wish, too. But I wanted to ensure you're taken care of if something bad happens to me," Alex replied. Sarah vowed to be a more passionate wife and almost set their mattress on fire. Mr. Pappas found nothing suspicious about her behavior. She often visited a luxury apartment building owned by Silas Cohen, spending hours there. Sarah had set aside the last 3 evenings of the following week for a Homebuilders Association seminar and convention. She told Alex she'd be home late each night. He saw the convention materials on the kitchen table and asked about the dance on Saturday night. "Yes, a big dress-up party. Best suit or tuxedo for the men and little black dresses for the ladies. There will be a live band and an open bar. I'll probably be home very late, she explained. It says spouses are invited. Do you mind if I go with you? You say I need to have more fun? We haven't gone to a dance in a long time, Alex said. Sarah wasn't enthusiastic. You don't know anyone, and I'll be busy developing business relationships. You might have to sit alone for an hour, and you don't like that without a computer, she snidely remarked. Ignoring her remark, Alex said, You want me to change. So I'm changing. I'm trying to be the kind of husband you want. He informed Mr. Pappas about the party, and he promised to set up equipment to catch every sound near Sarah's purse. He also gave Alex a microphone to record conversations. This would protect Alex from any misinterpretations. He could turn the recorder on or off with a swipe of his hand in his suit pocket. Sarah stayed home late the first 2 nights of the convention. When she got home, she didn't run to the shower, but snuggled up to Alex and said good night. Saturday night, Alex dressed in his best suit and waited in the living room. When Sarah came downstairs, she looked stunning. You look amazing, my dear. That dress suits you perfectly. Sarah wanted to ride in Alex's newest Corvette. The table reserved by her bank had a great view of the catwalk and dance floor. 2 couples were already seated, and Alex was introduced as Sarah's husband. One of the ladies remarked, Sarah, I thought you said your husband was a computer nerd. Why are you here with that handsome stud? All eyes turned to Sarah for her answer. She smiled and said, Why don't you tell them what you do, Alex? Tell them about your store and your work every 3 months. I own a computer store on Harrison Street and go to the Middle East every 3 months to work on computers for the Army. I don't think that makes me a nerd, Sarah, Alex replied. He noticed a tinge of annoyance on her face at his rebuke. Well, you'll always be my favorite computer nerd. Now get us something to drink while I socialize, she said, leaving Alex to get drinks. He bought a glass of wine for Sarah and a beer for himself. The line for free drinks was long, and Alex found himself at the end. 2 realtor ladies in front of him were chatting. The taller one said, Here comes the most beautiful loan officer in town, fishing out clients with her decoy. Look at that blue dress. She worked hard to get both construction and permanent loans for the new high-rise Ken is building. Yes, work day and night, but mostly at night, the shorter one said. I heard. Did you see the rock on her finger? It's huge. I wonder if her husband knows how much she dissembles for business development. She says her husband is a computer nerd and is out of the country a lot. Maybe he doesn't mind. Some guys like their wives being entertained by someone else. They were next in line, so Alex didn't hear more as they moved to the appetizer bar. Sarah wasn't at their table, so Alex started looking around. She was the only woman in a group of 4 men who circled her like wolves. Alex squeezed into the circle with their drinks, getting dirty looks. Here's the wine you asked for, dear. She looked stunned that Alex had invaded her territory. She introduced him half-heartedly to her friends, who seemed to view him as just a computer nerd. A small, creepy-looking man said, Nice to meet you, Mr. Connors. I'm Ken Davis. Nice to meet you, Mr. Davis. I understand you are the real estate man in town, Alex said, shaking his sticky hand reluctantly. Sarah, Alex doesn't know much about real estate since he's in the computer business, she said, trying to belittle him. Sarah, computers are for learning things. That's how I know Mr. Davis's name, Alex said. Davis replied, Your wife mentioned you are a shrewd investor. Really? I didn't realize she shared my investment strategies, Alex said, throwing Sarah a death stare. She busied herself with a thread on her arm. She only said she was surprised by how large your portfolio was, he explained. Guess I should guard my investments better to keep them private, Alex said, seething. The last thing I wanted was nosy people knowing my financial strategies. She doesn't share her affairs with me, so I hoped she'd do the same with mine. It was nice meeting you, but I'd like to dance with my wife now, Alex said. He set their drinks aside, grabbed Sarah's hand, and dragged her to the dance floor. You better calm down, or you'll ruin both your marriage and career. Act happy, or this night will be remembered for the wrong reasons. Be a professional, he hissed in her ear. Take 3 big breaths, wait 60 seconds, then smile at me, and we can talk. Surprisingly, she complied. I didn't like you confronting me like that, she said. I know, but don't share my wealth details. I don't trust anyone else, including you, Alex replied. That shocked her. You don't really mean that, do you? She asked. How often do I lie to you? How often do you lie to me? Alex asked. Another shock to her. I've never caught you in a lie, she said, not addressing her own honesty. One of the men touched Alex's shoulder and asked, Can I dance with your wife? I'm sorry, but tonight is special, and we won't be dancing with anyone else, Alex said. The man nodded and left. After a few songs, they returned to their table and had another drink. Alex didn't feel like staying any longer. I'm done here. Sarah, are you coming home with me or staying? Alex asked. I'm torn. This is my job, and there are people I need to spend time with, she replied. But how will I get home? Alex asked sternly. Call a cab or Uber, or get a room. You're a big girl. You make decisions every day. My decision is to come home. Your decision is what you will do here. I hope we both make the right choices, Alex said. She had a strange look as he kissed her engagement ring. I love you, baby, Alex said. I love you too, she replied. Mr. Papist's microphone was in her purse. Alex texted him to let him know she was at the Hyatt and that they would soon get more information. He confirmed his equipment was in place and already collecting data. She didn't come home that night. It was nearing noon when she arrived via Uber, her dress wrinkled. She thanked Alex for being her husband and went upstairs to shower. Alex wondered, when did Hyatt rooms not have showers? He held his tongue as she said, I'd like coffee and toast and then go to bed if you don't mind. Placing toast with her favorite jam on her plate, Alex asked, What did you do after I left the dance? I danced with Ken Davis, the man you refused to dance with. He said you seemed nice. I talked to about 20-30 people, making sure they knew I valued them, she said. She didn't say if she went to her room or someone else's, nor where she had breakfast. I'll find out from Mr. Papist. We met at his office at 10 a.m. Monday. He offered me coffee, but I declined, opting for water instead. If you don't mind, Alex, I'll outline what we found in chronological order, starting from the first day. Using Sarah's cell phone locator, we discovered she had lunch at Mr. Davis's high-rise. Later, she went to the 14th floor to Ken Davis's real estate office, a subsidiary of Silas Cohen's company. We have no recordings from these offices yet. Here's a summary of our surveillance findings over the last 3 days. She told Ken Davis on the phone that she was disappointed in your participation at the Homebuilders Convention and would rather be with him to eat, dance, and make love all night. She planned to pretend to be drunk and unable to drive home. Davis made a derogatory remark about you, and she cut him off, reminding him not to berate you because you are her husband and she's using him for business connections. In another call, she said, I've made up my mind. You need $3 million for the new condominium. By selling part of that center, I can get the money from Alex and become an investor. He probably has more money stashed away, Davis asked. Where'd that nerd get all that money? She replied. If he has $3 million, that's $3 million more than you. Let's put the divorce plan on hold until I find out his cash position. It might be better to stay married and control his money than to divorce and get half. At the convention, she told Silas Cohen, you could fund the equity stake in the mall. After you left the dance, she invited Davis to dance, saying, Alex has gone home, but he may have someone watching. We have to be careful. This will be our only dance tonight. I'll get a room and call you after midnight to come to my room. Mr. Connors, I'm not going to replay or repeat your wife's conversations with Davis after midnight or the next morning. They're not something a husband should hear. They are your property, and you've paid for them, but I'll keep them in case you want to reconcile and listen to what she thinks of you. Do you want to continue the surveillance this week? Slowly, Alex said. Please continue the surveillance for the next 2 weeks and then stop. I want to listen to the recordings but understand your advice. Thank you for helping me stay sane and focused on my future. Alex closed all his eras, knowing Robert Connors would pay taxes on the withdrawals and capital gains from the Merrill Lynch account. He changed the beneficiary on his life insurance to the Wounded Warriors Project. Alex maxed out joint credit cards to buy Krugerrands and traded his Corvette for bitcoins. As Robert, Alex signed a power of attorney for Tyler Connor. He emptied and closed his safe deposit box, transferring funds from the Swiss bank era and Merrill Lynch to another account in Grand Cayman, leaving some money in the joint account. Alex moved all valuables from the weapon safe to the vault, leaving a flat box containing $1 and $20 bills with tear gas bait money. Sarah would get sprayed with tear gas if she took it. Alex left the weapon safe combination on a piece of paper. Sarah subtly tried to convince Alex to invest in the mall. He told her to prepare a full analysis of the deal, keeping her busy while he finished his plans. Alex decided to relocate to Scottsdale, Arizona. He contacted a realtor for a 14 square feet Adobe-style home with a pool, mountain views, and a golf course for about $3 million, a cash sale. Alex no longer felt love for Sarah, only a desire for revenge. He decided to get away for a few days, telling Sarah he had to go to D.C. for work. Instead, Alex booked a flight to Phoenix to buy a new house. Sarah didn't offer to drive him to the airport, likely confirming his departure for her lover. Alex opened new bank accounts as Tyler Connor and transferred $4 million, $3 million from the Swiss account and $1 million from Grand Cayman. He bought the perfect house and arranged for the realtor to store some items securely. Alex monitored their house via motion-activated cameras and saw no sign of a lover. Sarah was working on a shopping center prospectus for him. Alex returned to Chicago with a smile, his plan in motion. Sarah was waiting for him at the airport in her Audi. "Welcome home, my wonderful husband. I've missed you," she said. "Yes, it's been a long trip," Alex replied. Early the next morning, Alex quietly got dressed and left the house. He didn't want to see or talk to her. Mr. Pappas was glad to see Alex and had important updates. He recorded Sarah visiting the Davis building, first Davis' office, then Mr. Davis's. In Davis's office, Sarah, Davis, and Cohen discussed using Alex's money. Pappas said, "Davis is very successful in real estate but lacks liquid capital. He needs cash to avoid defaulting on loan payments, which could lead to foreclosures. Sarah wants to be a real estate mogul and is using Davis as a springboard. If Cohen's empire collapses, she'll lose her chance and jeopardize her career since she made most of Cohen's loans." "Now for some unpleasant information," Pappas said, showing a short video of the meeting. It was hard to watch. "This is more than you need to see," he added. Sarah came home at 6 p.m. and prepared dinner. She asked, "Would you like to review my prospectus tonight?" "Yes," Alex replied. "Would you like to present it or just have me read it?" "Let me have a whiskey and get comfortable first," she replied. She described the property well, with a low debt-to-equity ratio and solid net rental income. But Alex knew the anchor tenant was considering closing stores, which would hurt revenue. She added, "Davis needs cash for a new luxury condo project. This is a great opportunity for us with monthly cash flow and accelerated amortization. Let me look at the numbers tomorrow. I might want to invest more than the $3 million you suggested." "Is that possible?" Alex asked. She was thrilled. The next day, Alex pretended to study the proposal, knowing it was a bad deal. He called her and asked, "Would you mind if I showed this to my overseas business acquaintances?" "Yes, please show it," she said, thinking it would improve the deal. "I thought it better for us to define we. Are we a couple or you and your lovers?" Alex said. "I'll call my friends and see what I can do," she replied. "I totally love you." Alex mumbled a response and spent the morning loading valuable items into a rented Cadillac Escalade for the drive to Scottsdale. He called Sarah and told her his friends liked the idea and he was flying to Phoenix to meet them. She was excited. She asked, "How much money do you think you can raise?" "I could risk another $2 million of my own, making $5 million total. Other participants might add another $5 million, Alex replied. "That would be perfect. Alex, just perfect," she said, squeaking. Alex booked a motel room in Kansas City to rest on the long trip. He also hired a security company to watch over the car overnight. Alex bought a weapon safe of the same model as the one in Chicago and had it delivered to Tyler's new home. Sirius Radio was Alex's companion, providing background noise. The trip went smoothly, and Alex gathered the bare necessities for the house. It felt good to be away from Sarah and her schemes. A week later, Alex returned to Chicago and told Sarah that he had secured a $10 million package for himself and his friends. He spent 2 weeks setting up an LLC and another 3 weeks preparing and negotiating the investment documents. The goal was to stall until Davis ran out of money. One morning, before Sarah left for work, Alex told her, "We're almost done with the paperwork. We could sign as early as this week, but the deal won't finalize until the funds are in your bank. I want to discuss our future. I think you should stop working so hard for others, focus on our investments, and enjoy life. Maybe even consider having children. What do you think?" I like it. Alex, it would be great for us. Thank you, she said, leaving the house happy. Later, Alex learned she went straight to Davis's office and celebrated with Davis and Cohen. The next week, Alex signed the final papers at Davis's office. Everyone congratulated each other, with Davis and Cohen smirking at Alex. Davis asked, "When's the money coming?" "We'll transfer all the funds from my account in Switzerland to your bank in one go." "It should arrive soon," Alex replied. He left for the Middle East the day after signing the documents. The money transfer would happen while Alex was out of the country. Robert Connors left America for good, the last trace being a passport stamp at O'Hare International Airport. Back in the Middle East, Alex checked the security cameras at home. Sarah was in bed with Davis. Alex set off the fire alarm, causing chaos. The fire department spent an hour trying to locate the source. Because of the time difference, Sarah and Alex kept missing each other on FaceTime. When they finally connected, her tone was cold. "When is the money coming? It's been over a week since the document was signed," she growled. Alex laughed. "The money is deposited in my account, ready to transfer to the U.S. But the banks here are closed now. I'll send it tomorrow when they open. What else is going on?" "Oh, nothing. Just work. I'm busy, so I've got to go." "Love you," she replied. "Yeah, me too." "Bye," Alex said. It was the night Robert Connors died. It was the perfect time for her to be alone in the house. Alex switched one of the emergency fire lights to strobe mode and had a speaker ready in another room. Alex turned on the strobe light, and she jumped up from the bed. Then Alex said loudly, "Sarah, Sarah, help me. They're eliminating me. Please help me." "No, no, no, no. I love you. Sarah." Then the lights and microphone went out. Silence. She was hysterical, screaming, crying, and sobbing, barely able to breathe. She rushed to the phone and called Davis. "Dan, something's happened. I've completely lost my mind." Alex was being eliminated, and they were calling my name. It wasn't a dream. I got out of bed and was walking down the street when I heard it. "I'm so scared. Can you come here?" she pleaded. "I'm a little busy right now. Since it was a dream, it's no big deal. Have a glass of milk and go to bed." "You idiot," he replied. Just then, Alex's phone rang. It was Sarah, and Alex didn't bother answering. Instead, Alex smashed Bob's phone into pieces. Sarah had no other way to contact Alex. No contacts at all. She was blindsided and alone. What would she tell Cohen? Where was the money they promised her? None of them knew the other parties in this deal except Bob. Without that $10 million, the Cohen conglomerate would collapse. Alex watched her sprawled in a large puddle on the living room carpet. Her plan to create a real estate empire had failed. She would likely be fired from the bank and lose her sources of income. Her bank salary didn't cover her lifestyle. Bob's money did. She had $1 million house, but it was in both their names, and without Bob's signature, she couldn't sell or mortgage it. She could live there, but it was an expensive house with monthly taxes, utilities, and insurance. In Illinois, you can declare a person dead after 7 years of no contact or 12 weeks with proof of death from documented events like an airplane crash or a massive fire. Neither the U.S. Army, Marines, nor the Iraqi government will issue death certificates. Bob asked his CIA supervisor to freeze his personnel file and deny any CIA contact with Robert Connors under the pretext of protecting his family from insurgent retaliation. Robert Connors would cease to exist. Tyler Connors would take over Bob Connors's position. Sarah would have to wait 7 years to sell the house. She didn't have the codes to Bob's offshore accounts. The only money she had now was from the bank. Alex hated to part with the $1 million house, but he was still going to lose at least half of it in the divorce. The remaining $500,000 was a big price to pay for leaving. Alex watched the drama over the next few days while she hoped Bob was alive. Now they were ready for the final act. Like many other servicemen overseas, their wives and girlfriends often cheated on them. When Alex's Marine buddies found out about his problems, they asked if they could help. You know, string someone up? Alex, on the other hand, wanted something more lasting and fun for himself. The funniest part was that she had no idea Alex knew she was a strumpet, and that Alex orchestrated the entire collapse of her career and friends until she was pushed out of the house. Alex laughed at her impending financial crisis. They went outside, where they couldn't see their compound, and set up 2 tables, covering them with a blue tarp. One Marine, dressed in tribal clothing, took an AK-47 from the weapons room and placed it on the table. Alex sat between the tables with only his head above the blue tarp that was wrapped around his neck. Chalk had been applied to Alex's face to make it gray. His lips were painted dark blue, and his hair was salted. Ketchup was splattered all over the table and around his neck. It looked like Alex had been decapitated, and the rebel was holding his head so it wouldn't roll off the table. They took several pictures from different angles and decided that the best one was a straight shot, with Alex's blue eyes staring point blank. The Marines decided it was the perfect reprisal for Alex. 3 weeks later, 2 Marines came to Sarah's house and knocked on the door. Davis opened the door and said, "We've already given the money to the Salvation Army," and started to close the door. The closing of the door was interrupted by a size 11 shoe. "We're here to see Mrs. Robert Connors about her husband," one Marine said. Sarah said, "Please come in." The Marines were in dress uniforms but without name tags. Alex's Marine buddies, and he watched everything through the security camera. "Are you Mrs. Robert Connors?" one of the Marines asked. "Yes," Sarah replied. "We have a picture of an American eliminated. We think it might be your husband. This is our only method of identification since we can't get DNA from the photo," the Marine explained. She gasped and turned pale. "Okay, let me see the photograph." She immediately started sobbing. No. Why him? We were going to start a family, and he let me quit my job. He called out to me the night he died. He told me he loved me. How can I live with myself knowing what I did to him? Where are the rest of his body parts?" she asked, gradually stopping crying. 30 bodies were dumped in a pit and bulldozed. "The heads are stacked in a large pile outside the compound," the Marine said. She began to vomit while sobbing uncontrollably. Alex wasn't sure if it was because she loved him or because of the impending financial collapse she knew was coming. "We're sorry to have such bad news for you. Would you like us to call someone for you?" the Marine asked. "No, thank you," she sobbed as they walked out. One of the Marines picked up the picture and put it back in his briefcase. Across the block, they laughed at the part they'd played in bringing her down. Her husband had abandoned her and kept all his money. As they got into the car, they heard Davis yell, "Where's our $10 million? What happened to the $10 million? How do we get our $10 million? We're all going bankrupt without it."
Thanks for hanging out with me on today's episode, brother. I'm Jack, host of this podcast, and it's great having you here. If today's story hit home, send it on to a buddy who might need it. Remember, we're all in this together, turning life's curvy balls into wins. If you have an opinion or story to share, then drop a line in the comments section. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss out. Until next time, keep your chin up and keep pushing forward. Stay strong, folks.